I gotta take this too.
All right, we are now recording.
Oh, now, declare police and employment meeting open. Okay, basically, 'cause I know you guys got ball games and stuff you need to go to, so we're gonna be very brief. 3% is what's proposed across the board. And as far as other things in the budget, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I do question the 3%. Because if you get a man making $13 an hour, 3% is, or a lady making $13 an hour, that's only 39 cents an hour. So, and,
I'm against that also. I'm looking at two separate papers here. Because that was one of my goals, to bring everybody up if we can to speed, because, as I said, on my block, and I see a lot of other blocks on my way to work, we only have one sanitation, what do we call them? I hate to keep on saying they're trash people, 'cause that's so
Sanitation
bad.
workers.
Sanitation workers working by themselves, and they're doing an excellent job. And I think we're really overworking them, and we're underpaying them.
Is this, what I'm looking at here, is that the comparison that we were talking about?
Because we got, I've got to look at two different things I'm looking at. So
but,
this is what we're going by?
Well, that one was formal, they just.
Follow stuff.
Okay.
The rest are
That was
other
14
places that were called.
Okay,
so in order for them, the first step, they started, in Farmville, they started off at $12.61, that's what you're saying?
That's a minimum, yeah.
All right, then they went up to 17.32. And on the other one, they went up to 19.90.
I think.
Now, if you work for them, you get $22.02.
No, that's the maximum that job will
that's the
pay.
maximum it carries.
So-
That's just a scale.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
just
think
a
they're
scale.
paying 17?
I think they're starting at $12.61 for laborer one, and they're starting at $14.57 for laborer two. The most the position will ever pay,
It's $19.
no, is 25.
It's 25.
25,
What's
22.
CDL?
With a CDL.
Yes, sir.
With a commercial driver's license.
And currently our guys are making
The average.
12 something, the
No.
lowest one is 12
Majority
something.
of them are making 14, 15 bucks an hour. Because they've been here a long time, that's part of it.
I know Chuckler's probably up to
I thought
15.
somebody was making 12.
We started at 12. A new person would be making 12.
What's the
I think our
range?
newest guy probably is Jasper. Maybe the other fellow.
Coral is-
Coral is probably newer. He's probably, and we can look it up, he may be 12, 17.
I would like to see those in front of me. I mean, we can't do it today, that's fine.
What they're making, but the guys that's been there a while, like Tucker,
Mm-hmm.
he's 15.
I think he's around
15 bucks
15.
an hour or something, yeah.
But to compare apples to apples, I mean, it would, if it was on the same, you know, on this sheet with the others,
So we can see it.
that would be awesome. You know, what's the range, low and high for sanitation
The
work?
problem is not the garbage. The problem is when you give them a raise, then we're gonna get all the street department guys.
Right.
Guys cut grass. And
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we probably need to do is have it all, if you wanna do just garbage men and create a scale for them, we can do that. But I think what you're gonna have is problems with like the lady who work at DMV. And
Well, I'd
everybody,
like to bring everybody up because of the cost of living, you know. But I really would like to get them first, because I have said it many times, and Miller just said 39 cents not cutting it when you're making $12 and $13 an hour, and eggs is $6. Because we're not making it. You know, the average person's not making it.
But, yeah, but that's the only problem
I
with
think
that.
the minimum wage does go up to $13 in January.
And I think there's one employee, and the mayor got a pay scale from Jackie
So
who
we
does
will
the
need to
payroll.
make some adjustments with the minimum.
But there is one person that makes, and I think he makes $12.50, and he hasn't been here 6 months, so that's the reason he started out.
But the baseline rate is $12.50.
I think it starts at 12.
12, but we do have an employee making $12.50. The garbage.
No, it's, he helps on the street department. He does not, he fills in on the trash.
Have you got that, the salary stuff? Did you give him the different salaries?
Jackie gave it to him, but I
It's at
don't.
the daggum office.
Oh, you know.
Dadgummit, I didn't think about it.
If that's a goal for you guys, we'll come up with
Yeah, but
something
like
reasonable.
Carolyn said, yeah, And we just can't do it for the garbage man. We gotta do it, across the board.
And I want to see it in front of me, just like Mr. Gomez said.
I'll get it for you and put it all together. We're still in the budget cycle. We got
We
Right.
got time.
Yeah. But if that's the goal of the committee, yeah, no problem. We'll figure something out. It may not be.
Just be, I mean, to me, to be fair and equitable to the guys that are doing the work, population, apples to apples, you know what I mean? If some town X has this many people and average pay is there, then what do we have compared to that, you know what I mean? That's, I mean, I don't know the population of Franklin or of South Hill, Crew, Alta Vista, I know, you know the towns, but
We're smaller than Farmville, we're
Yeah.
smaller than, Franklin. Franklin's about 6,500 people, Farmville's about, the equivalent, and Crew's about 2,200 people.
Alta Vista's kinda like a sister city, wouldn't you say?
Alta Vista is probably the city that is the closest to the town, or, in population of the town, that we're in Virginia,
Okay,
if you know Alta Vista.
Yeah, I do.
Between Lynchburg and Danville.
it's beautiful up there, yeah.
where are we at on this police hire?
Police hire, I think he's advertised.
But I'm saying, are we gonna put in a budget for another police officer?
Well, we have one in the upcoming budget. If it is a goal of the committee, to put another one, we can make some reshuffling. I can do some other things. I can take some stuff out. I think that there is, some money in the police department with Louise having retired that we didn't take out of their budget that can be applied towards the second position. I think that, Barbara has indicated that she'd be leaving in December and that money could be applied too. I don't think you're gonna be able to add another position until January anyhow.
Right, because of the academy, right.
These are two ladies over there,
Well, Louise.
Louise is gone.
is gone.
and the
We
other
didn't take
lady,
the money out of the budget, it's still in
right,
there.
and she works 7 to 3.
And she worked like days and then Barbara
Okay.
worked nights.
Mhm.
Now, Louise is gone, so Barbara's moved during the day. She's working during the day.
Okay.
And, my expectation is she's gonna be leaving in December. Is there a way to make that an extra position? You're getting there.
So
Okay,
the chief gonna want somebody else at that office, because I know he was passionate about it
I
last
think you'd
year.
rather have an officer than another
let's
position.
see what this other added duty, for those of you all don't know it, see, we got one officer that's stationed one spot, really,
Mhm.
so,
If you guys want a second position, I think we can figure it out. If that's the goal, but we gotta buy, get more vehicles and stuff, so there's more cost to it. But currently, there's just that one.
How many officers we got? If I'm not mistaken, we got
12?
12,
12, I guess at 14, I thought I heard that number one time, we got 12.
I think he was up there when Chief Shields was here.
Yeah,
I think it was more than 12.
I think it was 14 I heard, I said, wow, I was very impressed with Blackstone having 14, so that was
Well,
excellent.
And for fiscal year 23, it says 15 on here, number of employees for police.
Yeah, I think that includes the
Stephanie.
that's,
administrative stuff.
yeah,
The administrative employees, Stephanie and the lady that's on. And I think he's got 12 sworn. I think that's right. I think that's what he told us at the last finance committee meeting, correct? But he does have one coming, and if the second one,
does he have him enrolled in the academy already?
no, academy doesn't start till July.
I say, well, he already got the paperwork and stuff, right?
Well, he's got he's receiving applications.
Oh, okay,
Last time I talked to him, it had been about a week ago, he had received one application.
okay, okay.
At this point, it hadn't been an overwhelming number of folks, but, we'll find somebody to put in.
There's a vacancy now for policemen.
It would start in July, but we're advertising now because the academy starts in July. So we're being somewhat presumptive that the position will be left in the budget, and we expect it to be. But the position was in this year's budget, but we had a revenue from a COPS grant that we were hoping to get to offset it for 3 years. We
But
didn't
didn't
the
get
grant. So in order for him to send somebody to the July school, he's doing advertising and background checks and all that sort of thing.
So what is our goal for us to have the amount of officers in Blackstone? Is it 14, 15, or?
No, I think ideally what we would like to do, because we wanna make sure that at a minimum there are 2 people on duty, 2 patrolmen on duty at all times. And we've got that now, okay? Now he's wanting to add the corporals
For the night
on
shift,
the shift, right?
for night,
And so he's doing those kinds of things. What throws us off and gets us off that schedule is TDOs, which are temporary
right,
detention orders and those kind of things. When they've gotta go sit up in Farmville, or at Crossroads, or at Lynchburg, or at South Hill Hospital with somebody for days and days and days, that's when they get thrown.
And the bad part about that is I went through that one day with them, and 2 in one day.
Yeah.
And we only had one police on duty.
I can't say that's the only thing, somebody goes on vacation and you're
Right.
scrambling around all
Most
that
on
kind of stuff.
vacation.
Right.
But there's been a change recently, within the past couple of years, Larry Parrish always dedicated deputies to do the detention work, okay? And a county deputy was scheduled, and when Robert became sheriff, he is not obligated to do it anymore, and he chose that he would not do it anymore. So it's been taking our guys recently, over however long Robert's been sheriff, 2 years now, or whatever, and so we actually have to dedicate folks to it. That's when we get crossed up. I think we got enough folks to make it work now, but if somebody takes vacation, or somebody gets stuck at a TDO, you're back down to that.
Do we have a lot of those TDOs?
I don't wanna
Periodically.
tell you I know definitively, but they seem to come in batches.
Yeah.
You get 2 or 3 at a time, and.
One day it was 2 right, just like that.
I would say, let's get from chief to numbers. That's when we get shorthanded, when we have those kinds of unforeseen things that happen.
So what do y'all think?
Well, I mean, if we think we need them, of course.
If you want a second police officer, I'll be honest with you, it's not the worst place to put money, is in public safety.
Because we want to be safe.
I could find other things that are probably more frivolous than public safety, quite
Right.
frankly. And if that's a target or a goal of the council, something else may have to give a little, but the way to do it. But what I don't recommend, and I've spoken with Mr. Page a little bit about this, and I really wanna make sure you understand, we try to need to pay for general fund activities out of general fund revenues, okay? We don't wanna keep going to the electric department and taking another $50,000 a year or $75,000 a year, because when you do it for a position, that's perpetual, that's forever. Which, if council needs some more money to do something like a playground or buy a car or something, and it's a one-time shot, yeah, you can dip into the utility funds, but I wouldn't do it with using utility funds to pay the perpetual salary of an employee. That's a mistake, because that's gonna
So
get
where
you.
would you get it from, the general fund?
And I told Chris the other day, I think the general fund needs to pay for general fund activities like that. If it's a capital one-time thing, how are we gonna scramble around, how are we gonna put this pipe in, or how are we gonna do this or that? We can figure that out, but as far as budgeting goes, you really need to sit back and say, we're gonna budget X number of new dollars, either new revenues or cuts in expenditures in the general fund. If you remember, our auditor came and he was very gracious and said, your general fund is not doing great cash-wise, we're balancing, we're making it work and everything's cool. But our general fund, which is, you can divide things into multiple funds, but really our audit is based on general fund, electric fund, water and sewer fund. Those are the 3 biggies. You can say there's an airport fund or a East End construction fund, but really those are the 3 big ones. And, water and sewer and electric are in the black, but general fund is definitely not in the black.
Mr. Gomez, what you think?
About adding a policeman? I'm not against it.
I'm not either, so
Yeah.
we're gonna recommend to council that we hire another one.
Do you want me to find some money and
Yeah,
figure out how to finance
yeah.
to do it?
So when we have this, then you'll know where you got the money coming from.
Miller, can I make a recommendation that we talk to the chief first too, of the
Yeah,
police, to make
okay,
sure that
sure,
he's with
yeah,
it?
yeah,
'Cause he
you
may
right,
say-
you right,
He may
you
say
right.
we don't need one right now.
Right, you right, I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's one, but-
I mean, just ask him.
Yeah,
He hasn't asked for one, but he'll take one.
yeah, but she's right, cause remember how things got out of whack, so yeah, well, yeah. We can talk to him, I mean, yeah.
Make sure that he's.
Make sure he's okay with it.
Or he may come back to me and say, no, I really want lady sit at the front counter, but I think what you're gonna hear is, yeah, anytime
Okay.
you can get another road officer.
And,
Okay.
remind me again, cause we done had so many meetings, and it's just what May. We're not, getting a officer, for the animal control.
I think we're gonna have that one officer go to school, and then he'll be side trained. We have a vehicle order for him.
So we're gonna be taking away from the 12 or the 15 we got here for that.
Well, I think it's a good justification. No, he's not gonna be a full-time animal control officer.
Okay,
He's gonna be a full-time patrolman with animal control officer duties assigned. So he'll get some more money, a couple dollars an hour, and he's gonna also do animal control. I think animal control is necessary when it's necessary, but I don't think it's one of those
Right.
that he's gonna have a full-time job doing nothing but cat and dog. But he has an interest in it, and that's gonna be coming this year, that also is gonna be starting. So yes, we will have a part-time animal control officer who is also a road officer.
I have a question about when I look at the description column, see terms like performance increased, equalization increases. I don't fully understand, or maybe it's not as tough to explain, but say the sanitation workers again, when you're looking at that, is there okay, welcome to the team, you're starting at this rate, after your probationary period, you can go to this, and there's a potential for performance increases if,
There's always potential for performance increase. We've done them before for Andre, for myself, for Jennifer, for drivers. What we usually try to dangle as a carrot is getting your driver's license. And our garbage men are currently taking the driver's license class that Jennifer's been kind of coordinating. There's a gentleman that does a Zoom call with them how many times a week? Twice a week. To get these guys a driver's license. And when they get a driver's license, no, I don't have a driver's license. No. If they have a driver's license, man, they're a lot more valuable, and they will get $1.50 an hour raise.
just to get a regular driver's license.
Just a regular driver's license. Then you get a commercial driver's license, you get another $1.50. And you get off the back of the truck, and you can drive the truck. We wanna encourage folks to do this, because having people with a driver's license, man, I'm telling you, is a keenly valuable thing.
Yeah.
When you gotta get somebody in the truck and drive them back to the shop so they can go to the bathroom.
It's $1.50 more to get a regular driver's license and another,
We do tiers like that.
and another
You
raise.
get a water operator's license,
Right.
$1.50.
$1.50.
And I know these guys are low end, they could make $3 more an hour, all of them.
Okay, and you need to give them the bad news too about the retirements that we're anticipating.
Pardon? Yeah, we've got, several long-term employees who have either announced intentions or are discussing intentions of leaving. Mr. Akers,
Are these their bus drivers? Acre works on the
Mickle,
town.
yeah.
he's the street guy, he's
Yeah.
super valuable, he's just kinda slow and steady, but Wallace has got a great attitude, and you give him 3 work orders, he'll get 3 work orders done. I mean, he's just not one of those guys gonna be frivolous, he's gonna show up, he does his thing, he's worked for the town for, I'm gonna guess, 25 to 30 years at least. I mean, he's been here a long time, and,
He comes in and he schedules like the sanitation guys, so, cause some of the guys don't show up, or they don't call, or they'll call him and let him know, hey, I'm not gonna be, so he's here early in the morning to make sure the
make sure
trash
the garbage
trucks
trucks
are
have guys on it. And we've had some trouble with attendance, not too bad recently, I think that we've had one of those guys, one of the younger guys that kind of tripping around right now, but we wanna encourage folks to get driver's license. That's a life skill.
Yeah.
Commercial driver's license, so any of those guys wanna do that, they can make $3 more an hour if they
Um,
pass the test.
Mr. Akers, he's talking about he may be retiring, and if that's the case, I know at my job, when somebody's talking about retiring or they say they're retiring, we're gonna hire somebody in that spot so Akers can train them, so when he walk out, it can be a smooth transition. You're not running around trying to fill his position when you already had somebody training stepping into
I
that.
don't know if we've got anybody on staff who's ready to step into Wallace's spot.
What about if they come from the another area if they're interested in that?
Yeah, I mean, we hire internally, we wanna do that, we wanna encourage people,
Yeah.
you make $3 more an hour, apply for the job. That's always a goal.
Of course, with more money, you take on more responsibilities, but I always like to see different departments have room for growth, because you're a sanitation worker, you don't have to stay there.
I don't know if we've got that person that's able to take on, now Melvin, he's pretty good. He does the leaves and cutting grass, and man, those guys, I mean, he keeps them going and gets going. Melvin's, I wouldn't be shocked if he's.
I didn't realize he was 66 years
Memphis,
old.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
is.
realize
He grew up
that.
with my sisters and all them.
Yeah.
He's from our area, from Dundas, all
I
us
didn't
grew up
realize he
together.
was no 66 years old.
Outwork a 20-year-old man in a heartbeat.
He
too.
does,
So,
nice and pleasant every time you
within the
see
next
him.
month or two, we'll probably be having to hire some folks. And I'd hire Garvin. She gotta have a driver's license. You know, you can't do anything other than cut grass or ride the back of the garbage truck if you ain't got a driver's license. You get that, your world opens up. And
I think that's wonderful, we're doing the program, I know we talked
I
about
do
it
too. I
last year.
think that's a good
How long
idea.
is the program running?
We've been doing it since the beginning of March.
And they're not finished yet?
He does 2 days a week, 2:15, he does an hour each day. And they're still taking, and some of the guys, like today, only 2 guys showed up.
So this is for, it's a regular driver's
Regular
license?
driver's
Yes, and he's on Zoom, we got the screen like we do in the council meetings, and the guys are here, and he provided them with books and materials and stuff, and then they take quizzes. And, so he's trying to teach them so they'll be comfortable when
I'm
they
just
get to
laughing.
DMV.
I think it's wonderful that we're doing that, because all they had to do is go on their, phone and pull it up, cause the test and everything's on there.
He's trying to make them feel, he said, I want you to feel comfortable when you go in there to take the test so that you know that you can pass it. But today, like, only 2
Is this a
people
free
showed up.
service, are we paying that guy to teach them?
It's free.
Oh, okay, I could say, cause we paying him for that, shame
It's
on
Eric,
us.
right?
Cause it's a free
Eric
course.
Paul, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful.
Anything else that we need to talk about before we go into closed session?
And I think you had asked me a couple of things about who's retiring and that sort of
Right.
thing, so I'll clarify, Winston may go. Ricky Clark, I think, has already said he's going.
He's gone.
What did he do?
Gone. Ricky Clark ran that truck, picked up the brush and stuff off the side of the road,
I saw that somebody doing that this
And then
morning.
Bobby Evans.
he fills in on the garbage truck too.
the driver. He has a commercial driver's license. So Bobby Evans, who is a retired garbage truck driver of the CDL, has come back part-time. When Ricky finishes his mandated 1 month of being off in the VRS, he's gonna come back and work 3 days a week, and Bobby's gonna work 2 days a week, so we'll have that covered. Our garbage truck drivers are all part-time. Part-time guys.
Wow.
You're saying none.
Becau-
John Gordon and the new guy, they're all full-time. They went full-time.
They did go
Yeah, they're
full-time.
full-time.
Okay, we hired them part-time. We didn't have trouble finding garbage truck drivers, so we were just hiring part-time guys to come in here and drive a garbage truck, getting that commercial driver's license. And we talked a little bit about the commercial driver's license, the town pays 100%, about $2,800. We just sent 2 guys to school, 3 weeks long. One of them's a mechanic up at the shop, Justin Williams, and Owen Wilson, who's a wastewater operator. They both got their CDLs. I'll be honest with you, I think it's the best thing to do is send them to school, because they have to do it, but those garbage guys, they can't just sit for the CDL till they get rid of the driver's license. Gotta get that driver's license. I'll give them, they get $1.50 as soon as they have a driver's license. And we pay for them to take the test, we pay for them to drive up there, we do everything we can to get it,
That is awesome.
because it is just way more important for us. And getting commercial driver's license, folks, is daggone tough.
It's rougher
Oh,
now.
it's tough to find 'em. And, but nonetheless, Ricky Clark, Melvin has talked about it, but has not said anything more definitive. Winston,
Just talking about it.
talking about it, and Wallace is talking about it. So, we use those guys, yes, if they make an announcement, I need to scramble and start finding some folks, and have them paid pretty good money, and anybody wants to step up can, but you gotta have a driver.
And the town will be hurting when these gentlemen leave.
Yeah, cause Melvin been here forever.
Work orders and stuff are gonna be a problem. Wallace handles a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I recommend if we know they're leaving, we can have somebody ready to step in their shoes, so won't be no interruption of service, if we can. If we can't, that's
And you can
fine.
pay them training salary. You don't have to pay them top dollar. You pay them training.
I mean, we can start at $15 an hour or something
Yeah,
like that. Wallace.
just training until you complete your training. All right, anything else for open? If not, we're gonna go into closed session, just for one item,
And is that personnel
personnel,
and, a particular department?
admin.
And a motion?
I motion that we go into closed session for admin.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 East Neal.
Um,